Hello and welcome back to the Tea and Soju Cdrama podcast, your safe spot for Cdrama chatter. I'm your host, Liliana, and it's time to sit back, grab your tea, and let's chat Asian dramas. In today's episode, we are doing a throwback series edition, and that is with the drama The Story of Minglan. Some housekeeping. If you like the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe on the platform you listen on. That really helps the podcast reach other listeners. For more content, check out Patreon, where you can find behind the scenes, first impressions, movie reviews, and more. Finally, if you would like to chat to me or find a community, check out Discord, Instagram, and other socials. The link is in the episode notes. So today we have a guest with us, and Tanya's coming in to chat all about the story of Minglan. So she's going to go ahead and introduce herself for the second time, guys, because I'm going to crack up laughing again. But Tanya and I have been sort of chatting back and forth before we started recording for like an hour and 15 minutes. And then we started recording, or so I thought, and we really get into this drama. And yeah, no, I was not recording. So we were talking for about half an hour. So this is the second try. Let's see. I am
Exactly.
absolutely recording this time around. I
We are
triple
sure,
checked.
right? Yes, we are sure
Yes,
that we are
I
recording.
triple checked that I'm recording this time around. So I hope you guys enjoy this episode even more because apparently it's being made for the second time. So Tanya, would
Exactly.
you like to
Okay.
go
Anyway,
ahead? Yes.
hello everyone. So my name is Tanya, and I've been watching K-dramas for around 4 years now, and C-dramas for a little bit less, maybe around 2 years. I'm Portuguese, living in Germany. Yeah, and it's a pleasure. I've been in Liliana's podcast before.
Mhm.
And it's a pleasure to be here and do this review for the story of Minglan.
It is. It is. So Tanya and I actually have met in real life, and we went to Lisbon when we were back home together at the same time, and we went to go and have Korean barbecue, which was delicious. And she's gonna be coming over to the UK to London as well, so we're gonna be meeting up again. We're going for hot pot this time, aren't we? So I'm
Yeah,
very
I can't wait.
excited. I can't wait because I love hot pot. So we're going to go to Chinatown and do all of these fun things. I'm very, very excited. So, just a quick rundown. Tanya, what are you currently watching?
Okay, we talked about this all before,
We
but
have, we have.
okay, I recently finished two. So I finished the K-drama Love Scout, which I
Mhm,
really really enjoyed, because it has this reverse trope of the female lead who is the cold CEO and the male lead who is the secretary.
mhm.
Um, and it was more a mature romance, I think,
Yes,
and also had for me a really nice ending. So
yes,
this one I
yes.
really recommend. Also, we talked for an hour about this one before because we're all obsessed about
It's
this C-drama, but the first
the first
frost.
round. Yeah.
Yeah, we all recommend this drama. We're all obsessed with
Yes.
it.
If you're not watching it, go watch. Just do yourself a favor
Yeah,
and go
exactly.
watch it. Go watch it.
So I will not talk about this drama because I think Liliana will have a review for it.
I will.
Uh,
I will
but
absolutely have a review
yeah,
for sure.
but we really recommend it. I also finished recently The White Olive Tree, um, which was yeah, where we cried a lot.
Yeah,
This drama made us
traumatizing.
cry.
Worth
But good
it.
drama. I enjoyed the drama,
Mhm.
but it's yeah, it's a
It's
drama
sad.
that deals with trauma with PTSD. So,
Hmm
but it has incredible acting, yeah, and
hmm
also a lot of beautiful scenes. But it will make you cry. I
It
think
will.
this
It
is
will.
for sure. Yes, and last is the K-drama Mellow movie, which I started, watched a couple of episodes. I had very high expectations because I really love Our Beloved Summer is one of my favorite
Hmm
K-dramas. But then the first frost started, so I couldn't continue. But I will continue soon. Yeah, so far I'm enjoying
Yes.
it a lot. Yeah.
Yes. I also, when I finish up Mellow movie, I started it, but again, exactly the same thing. First Frost happened. That's what happened. It put a wrench in all my other drama watching, but I really want to enjoy it. First of all, I love both the actor and the actress, and I loved Our Beloved Summer. It's one of my favorite K dramas as well. So I'm very excited to fully check out Mellow movie. So let's do this all over again. For the second time today. I honestly cannot believe I was just telling Tanya, this has never happened to me where I forgot to press record. And it feels crazy because it's like I've been recording with guests and everything for like 2 years now. So it's, I think Tanya and I were just excited and talking about dramas for like a whole hour and a half before we started, well, what I thought was recording. So right, we can do this. We will go again. So the MDL description reads: set in the Northern Song dynasty, the story follows Shang Minglan, an unfavored concubine born sixth daughter of an official. After losing her mother at a young age, Minglan is raised by her paternal grandmother. Growing up, she learns to hide her true genius self and use crafty and cunning methods in order to survive the tough conditions where family members are plotting against each other and when no actual familial love exists. She then meets Gu Ting Yi, the second son of a rich marquis's household, who is supposed to inherit wealth from both the parents and a noble title. Unlike Minglan, Gu Ting Yi is straightforward with his actions and never hides his true self, causing him to fall victim to all planning and plotting against him, where he ends up losing everything. Ming Lan and Ting Yi join forces, and through cunning schemes and daring endeavors, they both rise in position and work to obtain justice from those that have wronged them. So, this is adapted from the novel The Story of Minglan by Guan Xin Ziluan. It is well, MDL says it's 78 episodes, but that is the TV version. There is two versions. The dramas are practically the same thing. There is no difference in the actual drama. It's just how they are cut. There is 73 episodes of the DVD version, and the 78 episodes is to allow for time for adverts. So this aired from December 25th, 2018 to February 13th, 2019. It is a Hunan TV production, and it filming lasted 208 days, which is so long. It filmed from
Very
September
long.
6th.
Yeah.
It's very long. It's like almost a year.
Wow.
It's like not quite, but it feels like a really long time. Um, so it went from September 6th, 2017 to April 1st, 2018. So that's how long you know, it filmed for. Filming took place in Hengdian World Studios, Jiaxing and Xinjiang and Wuxia province. So Hengdian World Studios, it's where most of historicals are filmed, and this one is no exception. Now, Hunan TV received some flack for making edits to existing episodes in order to extend the drama series to 78 episodes. As a result, the show had only 20 minutes of airtime on some nights. The finale was split into two parts on February 12th and February 13th. So that's why it's 78 episodes. Again, it's literally just cut differently. It's the same thing, but they wanted to have more episodes for TV so they could put more adverts in there. So that's why. Our main couple in this was actually married in real life after this show, and they have a son together. But in 2023, they announced that they were going to be divorced. So that's all like the details. Director for this is Zhang Kai Zhou. He's been directing for a while. So he's been directing since 2013, and he's done things such as The Distance of Love and other dramas such as, oh my goodness, my drama disappeared. My page was disappearing. So Serenade of Peaceful Joy, The Bond, Romance in the Alley. The one that I'm interested though is the drama that is coming up for him, and that is Our Generation, which is gonna star Zhang Linghe and Zhao Jinmai. It's their reunion after the Princess Royal, but it's in a modern setting and it's going to be a youth drama. So I'm very, very excited about that drama. Screenwriters, there is two screenwriters. One of them is Wu Tong, and they've done the only drama on their list is Battle of Changza from 2014. And they have an upcoming drama which is called Zan Zhao Adventures, which is, I believe, a Yang Yang drama, wuxia Yang Yang drama. So that's upcoming. And then we have the other screenwriter is called Zhang Lu, and they've also done Battle of Changsa, Water of Madrin, and their upcoming is obviously Our Generation as well. So I'm excited for that drama. I really am. I think it's going to be quite good. And then for actors, we have the wonderful Zhao Ying, and Zhao Ying has been acting for a long time. She's been around since 2007. And lots of people know her from, she's been in Legend of Zuan, The Romance of Condor Heroes. Boss and Me is one of her bigger roles. The Legend of Shan Li and Princess Agents are some of the dramas that are very, very big for her. She is, a fairly, fairly big actress in China and also I think abroad. A lot of people know who she is. For the male lead, we have Feng, and he's been in things such as The Legend of Zuohua, The Imperial Age, Wisher, with You, and he's also been acting for a while. So he's been around since 2004. So both of these very prolific actors, very well seasoned and veteran actors for our main pairing. But this cast list is extensive. Like it has 139 people to their list. It is a lot of people. So we also have other actors such as Zhu Yilong, Carlina Zhang, and Kira Shi, who are casted as main characters for this. Zhu Yilong plays Chi Hang, Carlina Zhang plays Shang Ru Lan, and Kira Shi plays Shang Mu Lan. And we also have to mention Cao Su Fen, who plays old Mrs. Shang or Minglan's grandma, who is, I love her, one of my
She's
favorite
amazing.
characters. She's
Yes.
so good. She's so good. I really, really love her. And she's the type of character, I mean, actress that you see popping up on a lot of historical dramas
Yeah,
playing,
exactly.
the beloved grandma. So that is the cast. It is an extensive cast. So go in with that in mind. But then again, it is 73 episodes. If you're going into this, there's going to be a lot of people, a lot of, moving parts and whatnot. So that is all the information. Um, Tanya, would you like to go ahead? We're just going to do some non-spoiler thoughts to start off on. What did you think about this drama? Is it something you'd recommend? What did you think of it overall?
I really loved this drama, just to say that for a start. Um, it's a very long drama. Yeah.
Mm,
So I think to watch this drama, it's quite a commitment, I would say.
mm,
But when I think I was interested, my interest in this drama, because when you ask for recommendation of historical C dramas, this is one of the dramas that everyone says,
yes,
it's one of the best. So I was always very curious about it. But then you see, oh my God, 73 episodes. Wow. Yeah.
it's
So
long.
yeah, it's very, very long. So it's quite a commitment. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I love this drama. Now, what I liked, usually for C dramas, I mean, I tend to watch a lot of romance dramas. I think most of
Mm-hmm,
us do,
mm-hmm.
right? And this one, yes, of course, has romance. But if I had to describe it, I would say it's a historical, how would say, historical domestic slice of life. I'm not
Mm-hmm,
sure
mm-hmm.
if everyone can understand based on this, but it is very slice of life, yeah, because
Yes.
it's a drama that is focused mostly on the women, on
Mm-hmm.
their lives, their everyday lives, actually. So you see a lot of details and on their everyday lives, especially with what they struggle. And regardless of their ranking, because the focus is on this family, Minglan's family,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and you have the main family. Let's say you have all the concubines, you have all the children, and it's the whole family dynamic. This is the story
Mm-hmm.
of the drama. So for me, it was very interesting from this point of view. Also, I really liked the character growth for these characters,
Yes.
because they go through a lot. Yeah, they are not perfect characters. They go through a lot, and you can see exactly how they are changed by the events, by the things that happen to them. So this was
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I also liked. And I really like the script writing. I think some of the dialogues and conversations are amazing. There's a lot of, how to say, double meaning behind
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
conversations, a lot of undercurrents. And for me, that was also very good. The script writing I found very, very good. Yeah.
Yes, I would agree. I think if you're going into this drama, it's definitely a commitment. It's long and I will be very honest, I wasn't sold on it for the first, I don't know, 20 episodes. It took me a while to get into it, and I think what I would describe this, it is slice of life, but it is you do have politics, but instead of it being court politics or like palace politics, it's family politics. It's like concubine politics, which we don't really see in dramas nowadays. We used to see them a lot more. If you look at other dramas like, Story of Yanqi Palace, all of those big Chinese historical dramas, they tend to have a lot more of like concubine politics. It's that's like how I would describe it, because it's like main wives and the dynamics that goes into running a household and the dynamics of a family and like your pecking order, and how if you're born to a concubine, you are supposed to have a certain lifestyle. If you're born to the main wife, you have a different lifestyle. If you're a woman or if you're a man, it's very, very different lifestyles. And I think this drama explores all facets of that. To me, this story shines because I adore Minglan as a character. I truly do. She is a woman who is so incredibly smart, and she's learned a lot from her grandma. Like I said, I love the grandma, and the fact that Minglan loses her mother very early on, and then her grandma, because she could just be absolved into like another concubine and be raised by, but no, the grandma is like, no, I'm going to raise her. And I think that was kind of like her saving grace in essence,
I agree.
because
Yeah.
the grandma, really, really helps Minglan grow into the character that she is. And then for her to be able to deal with all the politics that come, with running a household. So I really, really like it. If you're going into this for romance, uh, you either are going to be very patient, or the romance doesn't really start happening until I think episode 30, even 40
I would say,
onwards.
yeah, yeah, more even, yeah, it's very slow burn. Very,
It's
very slow
very slow
burn.
burn, to the point where until about episode 40, you don't actually know who the main male lead is going to be
Yeah,
unless you've looked
correct.
it up.
Yes.
You don't know who her partner is going to be. You don't know any of that. Now, I will say, to me, the show gets much better when she finally gets together with the main male lead, not necessarily because they're together, but because she then has to run her own household. And I really liked that part of the show even more.
Yeah.
Um,
And I also
so
think also because she can be more of herself. She doesn't have to
yes,
pretend so much
yes,
anymore, right? So I
yes.
think that that also makes it different. Yeah.
Yes. So I think overall, I really liked the drama. To me, though, I know, but to me, it is a little bit too long. Like, I don't think it needs to be as long as it was. Like, you could probably shave 10 episodes out of it and make it like 60, and it'd still be a really good story. But I feel like there's some parts of it where we're delving into like side characters stories that I didn't necessarily feel as connected with, or I didn't like pay, like I wasn't as attentive to, because to me what I really loved was Minglan. Like I wanted to know what was happening with her and her story, and sometimes we walk away from like her story a little bit to look at other characters, and I'm not as like interested. There's a couple of other characters that I liked and that I wanted to see more of, but overall, I think that was, for me, that was that. But yeah, I still really enjoyed it. I'm glad I watched it. I can see why people rave about it. Uh, but if you're going to try this drama, I don't think I would recommend it to everyone because I don't think it's a drama that everyone's gonna like. If you like slice of life, then yes, I think you'll
Hmm.
enjoy this. If you
Yeah.
like I said, family politics, I think you'll enjoy this. If you like slow burn, you'll enjoy this. But if there's one of those that you don't like, then you're probably not going to like this drama, or you're going to think it's too slow, or you're going to think, So I think take all of those into account when you decide whether you wanted to try or not. And again, this is not a sprint, it's a marathon. So pace yourself. Watch it, at a pace that suits you. Um, and yeah, so like I said, would I recommend it? Yes, but not necessarily to everyone. I think you have to enjoy historicals, you have to enjoy slow burns, slice of life, because at its core, that's really what this drama is. So if you don't like all of those, I don't think you're gonna enjoy it that
Yeah, I
much.
totally agree. For me as well. Yes, I think you really need to enjoy slice of life. Uh, it's it's not fast paced, not at all. So so you need to
Mm.
have patience. I also don't think because it's so long, I don't think it's a drama that you can binge,
No,
all at once.
no.
I had to watch, I loved it, as I said, but I had to watch this drama for, I don't know, maybe a couple of months. I don't remember
Yeah.
anymore how long it took me. And definitely not to binge everything. No.
No.
Um, I would still recommend it, yeah, but with the same caveats, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I've heard there is people out there who have binged it. But for me personally, I don't think I could binge it. I think I enjoyed watching it. I watched it, over a couple of months, and I would watch a couple of episodes, not a couple, I'd watch a few episodes a week, and then, I'd watch a couple more the next week, and so on and so forth. So that's how I did my drama watching of this. And I think that
Yeah.
worked fairly well for me. It just depends how each person kind of like wants to fit it in. But I don't think it's one that you feel like you need to binge. So I know 73 episodes sounds like a lot, and it is a lot of episodes, but you don't have to watch. So, like, watch 2 or 3 episodes a week and then, come back, do something else, watch 2 or 3 episodes a week. And it works out pretty well for it to be watched that way. So, let's rate this and then we can get into some spoilers. Now, ratings goes, one teacup, it was something I watched. It wasn't good, but something made me finish, and that's a 1 to a 5.5 on MDL. Two teacups, the okay ones. Dramas, I don't really recommend, but they were an okay background watch. 6 to 7 on MDL. Three teacups, the enjoyable ones, good dramas, they were enjoyable, and I would recommend to people who enjoy this genre. And that's a 7.5 to an 8 on MDL. Four teacups, the loved ones. These are dramas that I really loved. There might be a couple of problems with it, but overall, a really enjoyable drama that I would recommend to a wider audience. And that's an 8.5 to a 9.5 on MDL. And then five teacups, the rose glass no faults dramas. These ratings are reserved for those dramas that you love so much that you are willing to ignore any problems they may have. And that's your 10 on MDL. Now, for me, it's like a 3.5 because I don't think I would recommend this to everyone because not everyone's going to like this. And I think for me, it just took me a little bit too long to get into it and into the story. But when I got into it, I really liked it, but it just took a little bit of time to get there. So I think like I'm going with 3.5. That's my score for it. What about you,
Okay,
Tanya?
okay. I'm going to be more generous because I got into it from the start. I mean,
Yeah.
the first episode, I loved it from the start. Yeah. So for me, it would be 4.5, maybe even a 5, I would say,
Really?
because
Yeah.
yes, I mean, as I said, I would not recommend it for everyone, but for me personally, it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was also thinking, I'm not sure. I could see myself maybe rewatching this drama
Yeah. Yeah.
sometime later. For
Mm-hmm.
sure, there are certain episodes that I love, certain scenes that I love that I can see myself rewatching. No problem.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
whole drama, maybe, I don't know, in a couple of years again.
See, I'm the same
But
though. I would probably I wouldn't mind rewatching certain scenes. There's one specific one that comes to mind that I loved. But I wouldn't mind rewatching certain scenes. I don't think I'd go in and do a full rewatch of the drama. Not anytime soon, anyways. But there's definitely episodes that I'd be like, I would not mind rewatching that episode again for sure. Right. Shall we do spoiler warning? Should we go into spoilers?
okay, spoilers, yes.
Right. So, guys, if you haven't, this is like a fairly older drama now. I say that it's not that old. 2018, 29 to 2019. It's not too old. It's like 6 years. Yeah, 6 years old.
Mhm, mhm.
But if you haven't watched this and you don't like spoilers, turn back, maybe go watch the drama and come back. If you do like spoilers or if you've watched this drama, then keep on listening. But this is your spoiler warning. So let's start by talking about Minglan because I feel like that's the right place to start.
Yeah, I mean it's her story, right?
It's her
So
story. It's her story.
exactly. I think the
Um,
the drama title is very apt. I mean it's
mhm,
really
mhm, mhm.
the whole drama is Minlan's story. So yeah.
It is. It is. I agree. Like for me, I loved this is probably my favorite Zhao Ying, you know, portrayal that I've seen. Like my favorite character of hers. I haven't seen Princess Agents, which lots of people say is really good as well. But of the stuff that I've watched of her, this is probably my favorite role of hers. She's so I don't even know. She's a smart character, but the way she hides how smart she is, so nobody really gives her 2 cents. She's very soft spoken for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
the time, but she's such a mastermind. Like especially by the episodes that we get when she's running her household and everybody's trying to get a bit of that, and she's doing it so well. I just loved seeing her grow from this child, and you see that it's there right from the beginning, right from her being a kid. um she's pretty smart, and I've just written down episode 1 to episode 5 is Minglan's a child, her mother dies, and that's like the first 5 episodes. You get to see that. So that's not Zhao Ying as a character, but that is, another actress, obviously a very much younger actress. And even then, she realizes what's happening with her mother. So I just really liked her character growth and everything. What did you think about Minglan and Zhao Ying acting as
Yeah,
Minglan,
I mean,
Tanya?
I loved her the same as you. I
Hmm.
really liked how, because this is not something that happens so often in historical C dramas, because she's, as you said, super intelligent. Yeah, she's kind of like even a mastermind, I would say.
Hmm.
Uh, but she needs to hide it, yeah, because she cannot
Yeah.
show how smart she is, because in the way that her family is set up, because she is the daughter of the concubine, her mother died, so she cannot, let's say, show off, let's say,
Hmm.
her
Hmm.
intelligence. So she needs to pretend that she's this, soft, docile kind of person, yeah, because then she has two other sisters who are always very jealous, let's say. Um, and she knows she needs to do this in order to survive in this family,
Hmm.
basically. So I really like that aspect, because later you see, after she gets married, you see how smart she is, and how she outsmarts everyone else, actually.
Yes.
Yes. So
Yes.
I loved her. I think, and then on the other hand, she's always very calm, very mature, very calm. So I really liked her character. I think she's one of my favorite, I would say, historical female leads ever.
I
Yeah.
would agree. I would agree because I feel like I don't know, we never get to see this too much where a female lead character has like two faces almost, but in a
Mhm.
good way. It's like it's done in a good way. She has to do it for survival where she has to come across as really meek and really quiet and, just very soft spoken because that is the only way that she's not going to make herself a target for her older sisters and especially the sister who is a daughter of the favored concubine and the daughter of the main wife because those two daughters get priority over Minglan, and if something does happen she's going to get in trouble over those daughters. So she's very clever in the way that she does it because she keeps to herself, but she has backup. Like her other sisters actually kind of like her and they don't really see her as a threat because it's only Minglan. She's very quiet. She never does anything. So, but behind it, you can see her workout stuff. And it's not just the fact that how to put it, it's not the fact that she plays them like that. It's the fact that she orchestrates certain situations to her advantage. Like one of the ones being, is it when like her sister, they want her to marry someone, they want Minglan to marry someone that Minglan does
Yes.
not want to
Does not want
marry.
to marry. Yes.
So she orchestrates it so that he gets caught with somebody else and like he has to
Exactly.
end up
Yeah.
marrying somebody else. And she's the mastermind who's doing all of this. And it's like, it's fascinating to see because a lot of the things that she does sometimes would be things that would be associated with like the evil characters almost. But because she's doing it for her own survival and you get the reasoning, you kind of understand her and you kind of really get where she's coming from. I just loved her. And it doesn't surprise me that she is the way she is because she was brought up by her grandma, who then later you find out isn't even she's not like her father's real mother. So she's kind of like, adopted Minglan's father of
Exactly.
sorts. Yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, but and she's had, and her grandma has had to fight for her place, and she's had to like also do all of these things. So Minglan has learned from the best, so to speak. And I loved it. I truly did. I do think Minglan is such a well-written, complex female character. And I love that this show, yes, it does have a lot of male characters, but the true focus really is on the women.
On the woman.
Um,
Yeah.
and I love that. I love that. It does it reminds me a little bit of have you watched New Life Begins?
Yes, yes. Also very
So,
women centric. Yeah.
yes, yes. Also very women centered. A much shorter drama, and it does revolve around different things, but it is very woman centric. And that is one of the few ones that's the case. We don't really
Hmm.
get these big
No,
dramas that are
true.
very women centered anymore. So I feel like I liked this even more because we don't often get to see, big women characters like shine in such a way as Minglan. Because, like I said, the romance is almost like an afterthought. It doesn't come till so much later on, so much later on. So, for that half, that first like 40 episodes, it is Minglan's story. And even afterwards, it's still Minglan's
It's still
story.
her story.
Uh,
Exactly.
it's still her story. It's still her like planning, running her household and planning with her husband to, get through life. So yeah, I loved Minglan. I really, really, really did. So yeah, let's talk about the male lead. Gu Ting, because we don't even know that he's the male lead. And do
Exactly.
you know what?
That's the thing.
I had
Okay.
I had a bit of a problem with like this is not the show or anything. Like my little it's me. The problem was me. Um so Gu Ting looks very like the actor looks very similar to the actor that plays her brother. So
Oh, okay. I see. I see
So
the confusion there. Yeah.
I kept thinking, oh my goodness, wait, is it, no, it's, no, that's not her brother. That's not,
Yeah,
because they
I
do
can see
look,
they are similar. In fact, I mean now that you're saying it, I see it. Yes,
so I
they are
kept thinking,
quite
oh my
similar. I mean, in
goodness,
in, in the physical
facially,
appearance.
yes,
Yeah, yes,
yes.
exactly.
So it took me a
And they are
little bit, I
best
was like,
friends, actually.
yes,
I
they
mean,
are
her
best
brother and the
friends.
male lead. So
So they help each other out and they hang out a lot
exactly,
of the time. But I kept thinking, oh my goodness, so they are very, very similar. What is happening? Like, what
what is
is
happening
happening?
exactly? Well,
Um,
my problem with the male lead was that I had a huge case of second lead syndrome on this on this drama. Okay.
Me
So
too.
it took me a long time to warm up to this male lead. I have to say, first of all, because, well, you learn to appreciate his personality, but at
Mhm.
first he's very not in the first episodes when they meet as children. Okay, that's okay, that's fine. But then in the second part, where they are in school, etc., he's very, how can I say it, looks very arrogant even.
He is arrogant,
Yeah,
though.
very.
I think so.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so he gives these arrogant vibes, and I could not like him at first. I was like, is this the male lead? So she's going to end up with him? I was very skeptical, I have to say.
Yes. Me too. Me too. Because I think at that point he is very I mean, he is arrogant and he is very full of himself because he's like,
Yeah.
she's a lowly concubine's daughter, and he's going to be like inheriting all of this fortune and, the Marquise title and all of these things. And I think at that point, he really hasn't experienced life in general. So I think it's done. I think it's done on purpose. I truly do think it's done on purpose that he's that arrogant and whatnot when we first meet him, because then when he goes through all of his things where he's kicked out of his household and he's tricked by is it his he's strict by this woman and the two
Mm-hmm.
kids and everything, so all of that goes down with him, and then he's brought down a lot of pegs and he is no longer gonna inherit the title. He has no money, he has like nothing. I think he gets humbled a lot as a character, and I liked that because when that all of that happens to him, I think that afterwards he's like better suited of a male lead for Minglan.
From Minglan, yeah, I
But
agree. I agree.
I also agree that I had for the first half I had really bad second male lead syndrome because I
Yes,
feel like
I did.
he was so nice to her
He
and like
was.
they
He
they
was.
liked each other. So this is I think his name was Ching He, is the guy
King,
who
huh? Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Ching He, yeah, or Yan Ru. So
Yan
he was the
Ru, I
one,
think.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So he was the one who we initially, that's who you think Minglan's gonna marry because
exactly.
that's what they're setting
Because
up.
I think the male lead doesn't show up for quite a few episodes, right? If I remember
Yes,
correctly.
yes,
Or he
yes.
shows up but only a few minutes. And then there's a lot of screen time for the second male lead. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Because
mm-hmm.
he's studying in the same, I don't know, school or with the same teacher as
Yes.
Ming La. You can see that he's interested in her and he's pursuing her. And as you said, I mean, he seems like the ideal, future husband, let's say.
Mhm. But then,
Yeah,
do you know what? The more I watched, the more I understood why Chi Hung would never be a good husband for Minglan because he's very like meek
I
almost, and he's
agree.
kind of like
Yeah,
quiet, and she needs someone who is very intellectually on the same level as her. And because our male lead has had that fall from grace and he's had to like work his way up and work through the intrigue and work through all of that, he's gained that, like, you know how and that stability to be able to like intellectually be on the same wavelength as her. Whereas Chi Hung, he's very like protected by his family. He's kind of like sheltered by his family. So although like in the first half, I was like, I love these two. They're so cute. The more like
hmm
I watched, and this is why this show is written so incredibly well, that it can give me second lead syndrome in the first half. And then by the second half, I'm like, I absolutely believe this main couple. Like this main
it's
couple
true.
is
Yeah,
absolutely
exactly.
made for each other. So yeah, I agree.
I wanted to mention one thing because I've put it here on the scenes. This is
Hmm.
actually quite early on. I think it's episode 11 I put here. So
Hmm.
it's they're in the classroom, yeah, with the teacher, and there's a
Yes.
debate. I don't know if you remember this one, a debate on who should inherit.
Hmm. I
It's
do remember.
there's this whole
Yes.
debate where should it be the legal heir, who is incompetent, has no aptitude
Hmm.
at all, or should it be the concubine-born son who is someone more capable and has more? So they have this whole discussion in the
Yes.
classroom about this. And I found that I mean, the opinions of both that, and then Minlan also has her insight,
Hmm.
and this shows already a little bit to which side she would go to, because
Yes.
so I thought that one was one of the scenes I really liked as well. And I agree with you that, I mean, I had really bad second lead syndrome, but then you really understand as the story goes that he is not the appropriate person. He does not see her true self, I think.
No. No.
Yeah, he does not understand her. He only sees the what she shows to the outside, while the male lead does. I mean, he does know what Minglan is capable of in
Hmm.
the end. So I think that's one of the things. And there are a lot of scenes after during there was one that one really for me was a bit hard. I think there was a part where I think it was the mother of the second male lead. due to something that I think she has this his servant killed or something or beaten, and he's unable to do anything about it.
Yes, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, for me that was one of the things where I saw. I mean, yes, as you said, he's very sheltered, especially by the mother. Yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, the
Hmm.
mother is a very strong character, and he cannot go against his family. While the male lead is the opposite, I would say. He
Yeah.
has, he he is arrogant, but when he thinks he's right, uh, he will go all the way. He
Yes, I agree.
so
Yeah, I agree. I like them as a couple by the end. I really did. It just took a little while to get there. And the thing is,
yeah.
I wish because I think this was something that I wish would have been done a little bit better. It's the fact that he kind of comes back, and yes, they meet a couple of times, and she is the one who delivers the note from the emperor, who delivers the note to them that they need help because the emperor is being sieged
Mhm.
in the palace, and that's kind of like when they really like reconnect a lot, and then they start connecting way, way more. But I wish like because you don't really it feels a little bit although the drama is slow, the two of them getting together feels a little bit quick, all right? Because it feels like all of a sudden
Yeah.
they're getting
You don't
married and I'm like,
you don't see them falling in love, or you don't
exactly,
see signs
exactly.
of them falling in love, I
Exactly,
think.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
wish that is one of my little nitpicks for this show is
Hmm.
the pacing itself is a little bit off sometimes where it feels like it's sometimes a little too slow and sometimes a little too fast. And that is the time where I really wish they would have spent a little more time just showing them falling in love because it feels like it took a while for him to even convince her to marry him.
To marry,
But
yes.
yeah, but when she does agree, it's like, but why would she? Because she doesn't seem like she's in love with him, if
I
that
don't
makes
think when
sense.
they get married, I don't think she's in love with him.
See, I
I
don't
don't
think
think
either.
I think it happens later, but when they
Hmm.
get married, I don't think it's because she loves him. Him, I believe. I think he is in love with her, or at least attracted to her. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think if I remember correctly, maybe when he saved her, when she drowns, when she almost drowns, and he
Yeah.
saves her in the boat, I think. Or
Yes.
maybe even before, because I remember there is this whole storyline where he's trying to get married to his best friend. Do you remember this part? uh, where she has this best friend, and I think he tries to marry her,
Oh
the best
yes,
friend,
yes,
yes.
yes. I do
And then,
remember.
yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. And then, of course, the best friend does not want to marry him at all.
Hmm.
And then
Hmm.
Minlan kind of manages to avoid it. And I think when that happened, it's when he starts paying a little bit more attention to her, maybe to
Yeah.
get, a bit interested. um and then yes, and then when the I think when he saves her, I think by then maybe I think, yeah, he likes her. But from her side, I think it happens only later, after they are married.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
At least that's how I see it. But it is a pity that we don't get more, because she's always so calm, as I said. Yeah,
Yes, you don't see.
she doesn't, show much emotion, and she rarely loses her composure. I mean, she's always, yeah. So you don't really see what she's thinking or what she's feeling sometimes.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I think like for him, probably what sparked a bit of more of his interest. I don't know if you remember in episode 16, there's a croquet game and
Yes.
they
Yes, I remember.
she wins that game for them. And
Yes.
I
I
think
I
that
love that episode.
sparked
That
me
episode,
too,
one of
me
my
too.
favorites.
Yes. And I think that's like it's her showing just like letting her shine
Mhm.
just a little bit. She's like, I'm just gonna push this one, which
Yes.
at that point is not very regular for her. because
Mm-hmm.
she's still trying to keep herself a little bit, more on the quiet side. So I really, really like that episode. And I think that's when she kind of like sparks an interest for our male
For
lead.
him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's when it kind of like sparks for him a little bit. Because like also in episode 14, 15 is when the main wife and the preferred concubine have like a huge fight, and they try to cause trouble for each other, and then what happens is Minglan actually ends up running their household because
Mm-hmm.
both of them ended up
Yeah.
being in trouble. And they hand the household running to Minglan, which I loved. I was like, oh my gosh, yes, let our girl run their household, and she's going to do it way better than either of you
The
can.
others. Exactly.
So yeah, I really, really liked it. And the one bit we were talking about slightly earlier was episode 29:30, and it's like when Minglan gets her sister together with a guy, and then the family is almost expecting Minglan to marry as the main wife, and it's not, because obviously her sister ends up marrying him. And like episode 33, I just wrote, I did not see the fact that it was Minglan that schemed for her sister to want to marry into the Liang family so she could get the truth from her mother's death. I'm like, what is
Yes.
happening? Like, this
This
woman,
this
first of
was,
all,
yeah, fantastic
so
strategy.
chef's kiss. I was like, this is brilliant, because not only so Minglan is like, okay, I'll marry him, blah 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And what does she do? She makes it so that her sister wants to marry this guy, and her sister kind of like gets caught with this guy, so she has to
Has
marry
to
him.
marry
So
him.
that
Yes.
puts that brings Minglan out of trouble of having to marry someone she doesn't, but also it brings into light why her mother was killed. And I'm like, this
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
brilliant. This is brilliant scheming. And I'm like, I love it. I kind of love seeing a female lead character scheming in this way. And the thing is, she doesn't do it with the help of anybody else. It's like
No,
it's
she does it
all
all herself.
her.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
herself. So
She-
yes, I think this episode should just be renamed as Fangirling over Minglan, because I think that's the biggest draw to at the end of the day, that is the biggest draw to this drama, is like it's her character, because I loved her character so much. I truly, truly did. So I put down I put down here for episode 38 is one of the things that I really liked was the back and forth. So this is when the male lead is trying to convince her to
Her
marry
to
him. So
marry.
they're
Yes.
going like back and forth and back and forth. And then he admits that he's been wanting to marry her since he saved her from the river.
Exactly.
And he said like she said he needs to settle down for his daughter. So this is a conversation they had, because like so she is going on a boat trip with her grandma, and I think that's episode I wrote it down. Yeah, episode 22, 23. She's on like out on a boat trip with her grandma, and she gets
Mm-hmm.
robbed by bandits and falls into the river, and our male lead ends up saving her. And after that, they're kind of sitting by a tree and they're having a conversation, and she says to him that he really does need to settle down, because he's
Exactly.
like trekking. He's going around the country with his daughter, and his daughter's still fairly young, and she's like, you need to settle down, your daughter needs to like settle down as well. So yeah, I like that. And I put here, I don't necessarily like how the wedding is coming about. Minglan's sister was supposed to marry him, but got caught saying goodbye to her sweetheart, so they're pushing Minglan into her place. So that's actually what happens, because he actually wants to marry Minglan. Like that is his goal. But the
But we don't know this because we only know this
no,
after because
we
he's
only
also
know
very
this
scheming.
afterwards, because
Yeah.
he's also scheming, right? And
Exactly. This one
I
for
was
me was
like,
fantastic.
I was like, okay, this is happening. But I was like, it's
Yeah.
almost like she got tricked into marriage a
Yeah,
little bit, because
exactly.
and so
Exactly.
I wasn't as keen on this, but also I
Okay.
get it because it shows like how well matched they are
They
because they're
are. It's true.
scheming. They're so well matched. So basically, Minglan is kind of like unsure. She's not really sure if she wants to marry him or not. And we don't know that the male lead wants to marry her. So the male lead
Yeah.
approaches the Sheng family and he's like, I want to marry one of your daughters. And the thing is, because he's so he saved the emperor from a coup that happened. So he's now very close to the emperor. He's an advisor. He has like a marquis title. So he is very like in a fairly high position. So whoever marries him is going to be marquis as well and is going to be like in a really, really favorable position. So the Sheng family is going to marry one of their other daughters, their higher born daughters. To to him. What happens? This daughter gets discovered saying goodbye to her sweetheart. And obviously, now all of a sudden, she has to marry the sweetheart instead. And all of this is schemed by the male lead
By
because he
him.
does not
Exactly.
want to marry her. He wants to marry Minglan. And I'm like, this is wild. It's scheme upon scheme because
It's
Minglan is scheming and then he's
he's
scheming. And it's
scheming
just
as
like,
well. Exactly. No, I thought this whole arc was fantastic. I have to say, when I
so
realized that he had done everything on purpose to get Minglan, I was like, oh my God, really? Oh wow. I have to
yeah,
admit.
yeah. So like the thing is, I get it and I found it kind of fun as well, but also I'm like, but now she's being forced to marry
Yeah,
and I'm not sure
exactly.
she wants to. So it's like because she's been out schemed by him.
Exactly. But I think then on the when they have this conversation, and I think then when he convinces her very well, because he knows her. He knows her so well, much better than the second male lead. And I think in the end, what he says, he manages to convince Milan that,
Mhm.
they would have a good marriage. They would be well matched, let's say. Although by
Yeah.
the time, as I said, I don't think she's in love with him, but she
No.
agrees because they think they would make, a good
A
couple,
good match.
basically.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
also, I do appreciate that. I think if she were to say no, and if she were to say, I don't want to marry you, I think he would be like, okay. I don't think he would
Yeah.
force
I
her
don't think he would force her
into
to
that
marry.
situation.
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to have the opportunity to be able to marry him.
Yes.
So I think like it was fun to kind of see them scheming against each other for a while. So it was
Yes.
just like
This was very,
um
very funny. I wanted to say something because we are already we talked about the wedding. I mean, I think I put here the wedding is episode 40, I think.
episode
Yeah,
40. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
which is
Yeah.
about, yeah. So but I won't, because we were talking about the characters, and I had some notes here going back to the character. Where do I have my notes? I We talked about the grandmother, right? Grandmother for me
Yes.
was
Love
one
grandma.
of our
Love
favorites. She's
grandma. Yes.
fantastic. Yeah, she's like
Yes.
has all the knowledge. She's really insightful. She gives the best advice. She's
She truly
fantastic.
does. She
Yeah.
truly does. I love and the thing is I love that she loves Minglan so fiercely. She is like
Yeah.
she is ready to go to bat for Minglan and I think Minglan only turned out so well adjusted and such a good character because of her grandma and because she
Because
had
of the
like
grandmother.
that
Yeah, I agree.
unconditional love and that support from her and that protection from her. Because realistically speaking, if she had been left to her own without a mother in like such a situation, I think the other people would kind of like gang up on her. Even no matter how clever she was, I don't think she'd get away from that. But because she had the grandma, she did have like that almost sort of double protection from it,
hmm
from
Yeah.
being raised by the matriarch of the family.
I also wanted to, so grandmother favorite,
Love
but
her.
I also wanted
Yes.
to mention the sister, one of the, she has two sisters, right? Minglan.
Yes.
She has the daughter of the main wife, let's say. That's
Mm-hmm.
who I wanted to talk about. And you have also the other daughter who is I would say, not say a villain, but kind
Yeah,
of
the
one of the villain
concubine.
characters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I really also loved, I think her name is Rulan. So she's the daughter of the main wife.
Yes.
And I loved her. I also loved her because she has, for me anyway, really a big character growth. So when she starts, you
Yes.
see her, she's the spoiled daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she's
Mm-hmm.
the daughter of the main wife. Her mother, her parents spoil her. She keeps asking, I think there are quite a few episodes where she keeps asking Minlan to do this and that, to cook her this. And
Yes.
she sees things from Minlan that she likes, so she just asks for it. So she's very spoiled. Yeah. But then by the end, I also have there's an episode here. Where did I put it? Where they have a conversation about marriage, and where the sister. Let me see if I find it. The sister has this realization about the marriage as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I put this? Oh no, I can. Yes, I think it's episode 29 because they also have an older sister. I think we
Yes,
didn't
they
say
do.
they have an older sister who is married already. So she's not,
Yes.
she doesn't live in the household anymore. She's married, but it's a very let's say unhappy marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Rulan in this episode, she sees what her older sister had to endure after getting married and having a son. And she says, on the other hand, she prefers to have a more quiet life, even if it means her husband, her future husband, is not from a rich family. So she would
Yeah.
prefer to marry someone from a poorer family if it means she would have a more quiet life. And I thought that was really a very nice insight, for someone who was so spoiled. And in the end, then she does at the end of the drama have a really good relationship with Minglan, I think.
She
And
does.
it
She
was
does.
one of the characters that I thought had, a really nice character growth. So I wanted to mention her because, and the actress, I love her, the actress. So I think that was really also one of my favorite secondary characters, I would say.
I agree. I really liked her. I think I will say, there's something to say about this show, the fact that the female characters are better written than the male
Then the
characters.
males, yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
I absolutely think that even if you think about like obviously when we move towards the second half of the drama, the focus obviously shifts away from Minglan's family and then into the male lead's family and how
Mhm.
everybody wants something out of Minglan and wants to like kick her out and whatnot. And then it moves into like the emperor's
The
mother
emperor,
and
yes,
yeah,
exactly.
so there's like a constant shift from women characters to women characters throughout the whole drama, right? And I really enjoyed that aspect of it. But I really liked her sister. I felt like because she was always so sheltered, she just assumed a lot of things were how they were. Because she's the daughter of that main wife, she gets everything like delivered to her on a silver bandage, so to speak.
Mhm.
And it's until she sees the real world and she experiences a bit of it that then she realizes, actually, I don't think I want this. I just
Exactly.
want a nice, quiet life.
Yeah.
I want, I don't want. So yeah, I think that was the start of her growth, and I really liked that by the end, her and Minglan were so close because
Yeah.
Minglan didn't have a lot of people in her family that were so good as characters. So I really really liked her growth
And
and her
in
character as
the end,
well.
she does get her a happy ending because she does
She
end up
does.
marrying the poor scholar, let's say.
She does. She does. And she's happy with it. She's like,
And she's happy.
I'm
Exactly.
happy with
So,
this. Like, so it just goes to show. So yeah, I do have episode 40, we have Minglan's wedding, and I really liked it. The outfits are very different
yeah,
to
different type. Exactly.
so yeah, I really liked it. And then literally the day after their wedding, the husband's family is already trying to push a concubine on her. Like
Exactly. It's
literally
amazing.
the next day.
It's amazing.
And you're like, okay, how is Minglan now going to navigate a whole new family? Like, how is she going to go about this? Because in theory, although that's her seniors, she outranks them. So it's quite interesting to watch because technically she has more power than them just because of like her husband being in a more favorable position with the emperor and whatnot. She has like a little bit more power than them, but they are like her, you know, seniors,
Elders.
so
Yeah,
to
exactly.
elders. So she still has to respect them. So to me, I actually liked this half of the drama more
Okay. Yeah.
because I think it was so interesting to see her navigate all of this. And then like they send a lot of helpers to her
Helpers.
house.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. To
helpers, but they're really
sabotage, let's say.
spies to
Yeah,
sabotage. And I'm
exactly.
like, okay, how is she gonna deal with this? And then she's just like, okay, just let it play out.
Exactly.
Let them do. And I'm like, why is she not doing anything? Like, and for me, I was like, wait, what happened to Minglan? Why is she letting surely she has to have a scheme? Something's gotta be
She
happening.
has a
And then
plan. Yes.
and then it is confirmed she does have a plan, and it's a brilliant plan. And I'm like, she's going to
Exactly.
destroy all of these people.
This is
So,
when we really see how her mind works, I think, and how
mhm.
super smart she is. I mean, I agree with you. In the second half of the drama, we get to see more of Minglan, let's say, yeah, and her intelligence, let's say, because I mean, she dealt with all the things in her family, so that was, I guess, first half of the drama, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as you said, she gets married, and now it's a whole new world. It's like the male lead family, who is not better. I would say it's even worse than Minlan's family. Yeah,
Yes, yes. I think because, like, with Ming Lan's family, she knows what she's dealing with. She
yeah,
knows, like, she grew up there, so she knows all the ins and outs. But this family, she doesn't. And also, she doesn't have her grandma to protect her anymore.
exactly, exactly. Yes. So
So,
I found it very interesting the way she maneuvered everything and everyone
yeah, yeah.
in the end.
Especially with like her, the people that get sent over, she makes
Yeah.
them like she makes them walk away. And I'm like, this is the way she does it, that like her mother-in-law, let's call it that way, her mother-in-law,
Yeah,
it's not really, but her mother-in-law sends all of these helpers to help her, servants and all of these servants to spy on her, and she works them in the way that without them realizing she makes them go away because she's like scheming for all of them to be against each other. And I'm like, this is
exactly.
bloody brilliant. And I'm like, this is brilliant to see on screen. One of the so episode 41 is when they ask to get her a concubine and whatnot.
Concubine,
And
yeah.
then he's like, the male lead is like, no one bullies my wife. We'll go to my mansion. I don't want to be living here. So this is the day because it's very regular for couples to live with like their family.
With the
But
families, yeah.
but because he got given a title back and he got given, you know, praised by the emperor, he got given land and he got given his own mansion and he's quite wealthy himself. So he's just like, I'm not dealing with this. We're going to my mansion. And I really loved that. Because he's like, I'm not dealing with this family. Like, I don't need to. I already have my title. I have my money. Like, I need none of you. So yeah, I really like that. But then I've got down for episode 43. I wrote down, I love the fact that Minglan's mother-in-law comes to her house to cause trouble and walks away without any trouble.
True.
she's she's going then. She's like, I'm gonna cause trouble and whatnot. And also what I really enjoyed is that the male lead is going to court and he sees that his mother is like going to his house. So he turns back to help her, but he doesn't step in. He's like outside and he's watching it. And he's like, and then he's like, oh, let's go to court. Why? Because he
Yeah, yeah.
realizes she's
She
fine.
she
She
doesn't need
needs
his
no
help
help.
at
Like
all.
she can deal with it just
Exactly.
fine
No,
by
no, very
herself.
good.
No help necessary. No help necessary. And yeah, I had written down, love the fact that all the servants are fighting and the male lead servants comes to tell the male lead and his like tell the female lead. She doesn't dare to get involved herself, instead stepping in, he assumes rightly that she must have a plan. So
Exactly.
basically, it's when she gets all the servants that have been sent by her mother-in-law to kind of like fight against themselves so that they forget that they're meant to be spying on her, right? And so that it makes it look like that she's super incompetent at running a house and whatnot. So
Exactly.
her mother-in-law is thinking, oh, there's, no need to deal with this and whatnot. And then the male lead is like, I'm not gonna step in. She's fine.
He's
She's got a
handling it
plan.
well. Yes,
Yeah, she's
exactly.
handling it. Like I don't need to step in. And this is the reason why I think I fell so hard for the couple by the end. It's the fact
Yeah,
that he could very easily step in and be like, I am the marquise of this mansion. I have the power and you will do as I say. And he could, like, with a couple of words, put all of these servants and his mother in their corner. But he's like, I'm not going to do that. That's my, like, let my wife handle it. And the thing is, she's having fun doing it. She's having a lot of fun scheming against these people, and he understands that about her. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think that it shows, the how well they understand each other.
Hmm,
Yeah,
hmm.
by the end, I think these scenes like that. Yeah. So I think by the end, I was completely convinced on the romance. Yeah, but I
Same
think
here,
this is the
same
kind
here.
of romance that, yeah, you need. Maybe that's why the drama is so long, because you really do need some time to to get into it.
Don't say that. Don't say that. We don't need that much time. Because this is what I mean. See, I wish the first half, so maybe like the first 30 to 35 episodes were condensed to like 20
Mhm.
episodes. I feel
Okay.
like that would be fair. 20 episodes for, the first 35 into 20 episodes, and then the rest of the story as is. I would have been so much happier, because I think the pacing would work a little bit better. There's some places where the pacing is just a little too slow for me. So yeah. Cause see, in the first half, I barely have any notes. But for the second half, I like have a lot more
A
notes to
lot of
talk about.
notes.
Exactly. So I think that's why I got way more interesting. I think like the next couple of episodes, like 49, 51, 54,
Mhm.
those types of episodes, it's when we get like the male lead's ex come back and
Yes, that whole part of the
that
X,
whole
exactly. Yeah.
storyline, I was just like glued to the screen with that
Yeah.
situation, because I was like, oh my God, is this kid alive? Is he dead? Is
Yeah,
he?
exactly. What happened? Yeah, 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 yeah.
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 And then episode 51 is when he finds his son's grave. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, the acting was so
That
incredibly
was good.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So incredibly, incredibly good. And 54 is when they're arguing because she wants to get him a concubine. And I'm like,
Oh, yes. Oh my God. This
from? Why
and she's
are
not
you?
bothered at all. She's not
She's like, no.
bothered at all.
She's
I
like,
know
oh
there's an
yeah.
episode. I didn't put the number of episodes but here, but there's a scene where he's completely mad at her because she says to him to go and spend the night with I don't know if it was the ex or the supposed concubine, and she says just go and spend the night
It's
with
fine.
her. What
You
is your
can go.
problem?
And go, I'm not bothered. And I'm like, and I think it's because she's the daughter of a concubine. So she just kind of
Yeah,
assumes that, that's the case. And I think at that point she has feelings for him, but she's
Mhm.
not like in love with him. I think that
No,
comes a little bit
exactly.
later. So I think
It
that's
does.
why
Yeah.
she's not that bothered because by the end she's like, you dare, don't you dare
Exactly.
get a
No way.
concubine. Like, don't you dare get a concubine. Um, so she's
But I
changed
find
her
it
tune.
funny. I find it funny how there are some scenes where he tries to get her jealous, I guess, and she's like,
She's like, ah,
"Yeah,
fine,
fine."
no problem.
Exactly.
And you know what? That was really refreshing to me, actually, to watch that because normally that does work. And like the female character loses a lot of face and whatnot
Mhm. Yeah,
for that
not in this case.
aspect. But not in this case. She's just like, you want to go get a concubine? Oh, great. Less work for me.
Fine, exactly.
Absolutely. I'm like, this is insane. And this is why I love her so much. So much. So much. But yeah, then oh, because then episode 56, he gets punished. He gets like caned and he
Yes,
acts like an absolute baby.
it
So
does.
she will take care of him. He's, he's just like, I just want to see, like, if she will take care of me. Like, I just want
Exactly,
some
exactly.
attention
Does
from
she
my
care for
wife.
me or does she not care for me?
And this is also interesting because this is usually the other way around, where the female lead tends to be the one that, is chasing that approval.
Mhm.
Whereas here, it's definitely the male lead chasing the female lead's approval through and through, through and
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
Um,
I loved it. I loved it.
mhm. And then we enter the next stage, which is like the
The
final set
the
of episodes.
political, yeah, the court, let's say.
Yes, but actually, I didn't mind them. I thought they were done quite well for the story.
Well, it was not so long as I mean,
Mm.
it didn't, so I think it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. And here also I really like, I mean, there's also a lot of scheming involved, yeah, in this arc, which
Yes.
I loved as well. I mean, the whole thing with the emperor and the male lead, and is it and the son, right? The son of the emperor, who is the best,
Yes, the
who is
son of
the
the
friend,
emperor. Yes,
exactly. And
yes.
I mean, the whole, yeah. I like this arc a lot as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
I
me,
I
this
enjoyed
was
it.
also very nice.
Um, I really liked the so basically we see in episode 59, it's just like just before that arc kind of starts, is when Minglan tells him that she's pregnant. And like
Yeah,
he's so happy. He's so incredibly happy. And I think it's adorable that because she's going to be a good mother because she's already like
Mhm.
technically taking care of his daughter from the ex,
Oh
and you
yeah, I
see.
love that they had such a good relationship,
Mm-hmm,
Minglan
mm-hmm,
and the stepdaughter, right?
mm-hmm.
It was really nice to see. But I mean, of course, we know Milan, so we know she's a good person and that she would, of course, take good care. But I really love to see how also the stepdaughter recognizes her, at the end as the mom.
Yeah. So, and actually, it's a really nice scene when it happens because it's when her house is being attacked,
Hmm.
and she sends her stepdaughter into this corridor with the guard so that,
With the
and,
guard,
with
yeah,
somebody else and her maid so that they can keep her safe. And she's like, and then I think it's like the first time where she really calls her mother and
her
she's like,
mom.
Mother, I
Yeah,
don't want
exactly.
to leave you. I don't want to leave you. And you can see Minglan like getting teary-eyed, and I'm like, this is I really
Yeah,
like their relationship a lot. I think she's gonna grow into a wonderful human being because she's being raised by Minglan. So yeah, and then like we have the whole Kang woman situation.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh my God, this one. Ah, this
I
Kang
hated
woman.
her.
Yeah. Oh, so the Kang woman, she is the sister of the main wife, right?
Yes, yes.
If I
So
remember
she
correctly. So sort
is
of like an aunt, not really,
an
but sort of.
aunt, like aunt-in-law. to
Aunt-in-law. Yeah.
Minglan,
Okay.
basically.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
basically, so Kang, I just call her Kang,
Kang.
but
Yeah. Okay.
basically, she is Minglan's. So in the Shang family, there is the main wife who Minglan is, part of, and it's her sister that kind of creates this whole the whole thing. Not only does she try to kill the grandma, which
hmm
is
Yeah.
already
I mean,
horrendous,
exactly.
horrendous. She tries to kill Minglan right after she has a freaking baby.
Exactly. hmm
And I'm just like, my goodness, my goodness. And then I think like there is a part there where right after she gives birth, Minglan is definitely having a little bit of like post what's the word? Postpartum depression. Because she is
Depression.
like,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
does not want to budge out of her bedroom away from that
hmm
baby. Because there's a part where our male lead even like tries to go near the baby and she won't let him. So I wish, see, that's something that I wish was explored a little bit
A
more.
bit more.
Um
Yeah. But it wasn't really.
no, it wasn't, but it's definitely they kind of like gave little hints of that because,
Exactly. hmm
well, it's obvious somebody tried to kill this baby not once but twice. Like, because it's a boy, so it's going to take on the Marquis's title from his father. It's a
Exactly.
legitimate son. It's like, so
If
no.
if I remember correctly, the Kang aunt was also working with the male lead stepmother,
Yes,
right?
she was. She
Because the
was.
male lead
Yes.
stepmother wanted her son to inherit the
Yes,
title,
the
if I
title.
remember. I
Exactly.
mean, there's so many
Exactly.
characters, it's a bit, but I think, yeah, so they were all working together to get rid of the baby and to get rid of Minglan.
Hmm.
Exactly.
I put yeah, so episode 66 is when I just call her the evil stepmother. So
He's a
the male
stepmother,
leads
yeah,
the male lead stepmother sends the lanterns and they causes a fire in
a
like the
fire.
in Minglan's
Exactly.
house while Minglan is giving birth. Like
Birth. Oh my
it's
God, that's so crazy, that scene. Yes.
it's crazy.
And
It's
the
crazy.
male lead is not there. I don't remember anymore.
So
He's somewhere else, right?
he's at the palace. He's at the
He's at the
palace with like,
palace.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So he's leading, I believe he's leading like the guard or something at the palace,
And he cannot
or
leave
leave.
or something.
No,
Yeah.
he can't leave. Because he's like his job is to protect the emperor. So he needs to be like there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, that whole situation was horrendous, and then obviously our male lead ends up killing the Kang woman
The Kang woman.
right
Yes.
before she kills Minglan, and that's kind of like what sets his path to him going to prison.
Exactly.
But
That's
I will say there's a scene, and I think this is after Minglan has the baby. Um, it's when her house is being invaded. Um, and she basically has to deal with the whole household. Um, and like keep everyone going. And she's so calm. She's like throughout this whole thing everybody's panicking and she's so calm. It's when like the whole fire situation is happening
yeah,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Okay.
And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, she's so calm. The woman's giving birth. The house is on
It's
fire.
on fire.
She's like,
And
it's fine. It's fine. And I'm like, how is this
how
happening?
is it?
Um,
Yeah, I
so yeah,
remember she's giving all these orders to everyone. Yeah,
while
okay.
she's
Yeah.
giving birth,
Well, she's
and I'm
giving
like,
birth. Fantastic. I mean, why not,
she's
right?
she's running her household, trying to put out this fire and everything
Oh my
while,
God.
they're
Yeah.
cleaning. And then like I think it's either when the Kang woman is on the loose or something, and that's when she sends like their daughter
Into
away.
hiding. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. Yes, I think so.
Yes.
hmm
So I just liked it. Yeah. I wrote here this is like a skip to the thing, but like episode 70, and like I really liked the
Oh,
prison scene
I've put here
where,
one of my favorite episodes, episode
oh yeah,
70.
yeah. I
In
put
what the
here like,
conversation in the prison, and I put a
yes,
lot of hearts,
exactly. Yes, yes.
a lot
I
of
put
hearts
down
in this. Yes,
because
and
basically he's telling her in that conversation that he wants to divorce her so that she's not going to
she's
be
not involved. Yeah,
incriminated.
exactly.
Um,
And
and
she's no
she's
way,
like, not happening. It's not
not
happening.
happening.
And
Exactly.
because he says I wrote the whole prison scene where male lead is like, let's separate so I won't incriminate you more. And she's just like, that's not happening. Like, we're in this, together, and we'll figure a way out. And then, yes, of course they do. They start scheming again. That's what
Of
they
course,
did.
exactly. I wrote here. He was so happy when he heard Minglan had made the scene in front of the princess consort. Because I think it was one of the rare instances where she's lost her
She
composure,
lost her
let's say.
composure.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. And then I also wrote here, I think this is the moment when the male lead finally realizes that she really
She
loves
loves
him.
him. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because
that's why I
it's
put a
like,
lot of hearts. Exactly.
it's basically, she is like, he's in prison and she's just had a baby, like a couple,
Yeah,
like this is like not very
exactly.
long after she's having a baby, so she's meant to be at home for recuperating and whatnot, and instead everybody starts turning their backs on her. Nobody wants anything to do with her. And she goes and she's like banging the drums with
The
like her
drums. Yeah,
servant, and she is there like day and night banging those drums so that the emperor will listen to her plea. Like, she has evidence that the male lead is innocent, that nobody will listen. And then that's when the empress finally takes pity on her and like calls her in and tells her that this is fine. It's their plan. It's
exactly.
fine.
It's all fake.
So it's all fake. So she still has to play her part, but now she's aware that, it's a plan by the Empress and the Emperor and Gu Yi to like bring the Emperor, like the Dowager Queen, down. So I I really liked that. I wrote here for episode 71. I love the scene where she was having a 1 month party for her baby, and at first
Oh,
no one
yes.
showed up,
No one showed
because of,
up.
yeah,
Yeah.
because of her husband being in prison. But then her sister showed up, and slowly these people came, ones that she had helped or had formed connections with her, and I loved it
Yeah,
because
that
the
was
people who
very
do.
nice.
I loved it because the people who end up in that party are people that truly, truly cared about her. And the first person to show up was her sister. And
Was
I'm
her
like,
sister.
I
Yes,
love this. I truly, truly, truly
it's
love
true.
that
No,
it was her
I
sister, the first person to be there.
I have a note. I don't know why. I have a note here. Episode 68. There's a conversation between Gu Ye and the second male lead. And I said I loved that they managed to have an open conversation. I don't remember anymore, but I think they finally, because between them, I mean, there was always this competition, right?
Yes, yes, of
Yeah,
Minglan. Yeah.
yeah, because of Minglan. But I think this is where they basically, you know, talked about it and they finally put everything between them, to
Mm.
rest, let's say. So I have that note here. And I also have a note on, do you remember the second male lead's wife, the one he ended up marrying?
Yes.
And
Yes,
I've
I
put
do.
here, she's smart. She's a smart woman. And
Hmm.
by the end, he finally realizes it. And I think he
Yes.
finally realizes it that, he can be happy with her and he lets go of Minglan by the end.
I actually really liked the two of them together, and it's really
Yeah,
nice to see like him finally accepting his wife, and his wife, like, because she cares for him. I think she really
she
does
did.
care for
Yeah.
him. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really nice. And I think she's much more suited to him than Minglan ever was. She seems like, she works with him a lot better than Minglan. So I like them as a pairing as well. I
Yeah,
did. Yeah.
I like that he had, a happy ending as well. I think that
Yes.
was nice.
Yes. I don't think I have many more many more um notes. Oh yeah, see episode 72 is when like the ex is on the loose causing a lot of trouble and her house is getting invaded by like armies and stuff and there's fires
Oh,
and everything's
yeah, yeah,
happening.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
episode 72. So that's the one I mean also like where she's running the household and making sure everybody's protecting certain places and whatnot. And I'm like, I love this because he's off in prison and she's having to deal with this, all of it. And I loved it because she's just like so kick ass. Like she's so
Yeah,
good.
yeah,
She's so good.
I mean, she can do everything. This woman,
She
I mean,
can.
Minglan
She
is like
can. She can.
superwoman
And
for me.
because then she also, it's the episode where she uses the gun that he taught her how
Ah,
to
yes,
use to protect
exactly,
them. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
that was
exactly.
very, very good. I don't have any more notes.
I don't either. I think we got to the end.
We did. Because
Exactly.
then obviously the end is just them like being happy and everybody's kind of like settled down. Everything kind of gets resolved, doesn't it?
I think there's like is it at the end where there's like this big family, they're all together? I don't remember
Yeah, I
anymore
think
with,
so.
yeah, with her family, with the sister.
I think
I
so. I
I
think they're all having dinner, aren't they?
It's
I
something
can't
like
quite.
this, right? I have this vague this was some months ago, so
Yeah, for
but
me
I think
too.
that was nice to end up, having
Yeah.
a meal with everyone. Yeah, and yeah, and then you realize really how much these characters have grown and throughout the drama.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I really liked it, but I truly wish like the first half was condensed and shorter,
Condensed.
and then we could
Okay.
get to the
Okay.
second half more. Because, like, I feel like, as from my notes, I can see that I liked a lot more in the second half than I did in the first half. So, I think that would be my biggest problem with it. And that's
Okay.
why
I
it's not like as highly rated for me
mhm.
as it
I
could
think I
be.
didn't mind so much because in the first half I was so invested in the second lead. That's why
Yeah.
I didn't mind it so much.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh,
So
but
yeah,
overall,
oh,
good drama, I think.
very good
Very,
drama.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think.
Have you
I
got
think
any?
if you like historicals, I think yeah, and the slow-paced drama, I think you would enjoy this drama.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. And that's it. That's all my thoughts. Have you got anything else to say, Tanya, to add on to
No, I
this?
think we talked a lot
We
already.
talked a lot. We did. We did. So
Twice,
that is
some parts twice.
twice.
So I
Twice.
think
Twice. I think I'm gonna have no voice tomorrow.
exactly.
Because like to you guys, you obviously you won't quite know this, but the day that I'm recording, I already recorded another episode with somebody else before I
Yeah.
recorded with Tanya. So I'm recording two podcast episodes, and I think it's like a total. So our counter is up to 3 hours and a half. And
Wow.
then I think with like my previous episode, I think it was like two. I think it also was almost
So
three
it
hours.
was
So I've
a
been
lot of hours
talking.
today.
I've been talking for a long time, so my
Wow.
voice is going to
Okay.
be.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
let's end it here. I
Let's end
thank
it
you
here.
so
Yes.
much, Tanya, for coming on.
It was a pleasure.
It was. If you, I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and this review of the story of Minglan. Like I said, this is going to be part of like what I'm going to be calling my throwback series, where I'm going to watch slightly older dramas or highly recommended dramas. I mean, Minglan is not that old, but it is very much a highly recommended drama. This is not going to happen all the time because if you guys haven't guessed it, when you do throwback dramas in C drama land, you're looking at 60 plus episodes. And we
Yes.
only have so much time. So I'm going to be trying to do a couple of these throughout, the next couple of seasons of Tea and Soju. So Minglan's the big one for this, for season 3. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this review and we shall catch you next time. Bye.